Welcome to the United States of Paranormal podcast. Sit down and buckle up for an enlightening ride through everything cryptid, creepy, and paranormal.
Welcome back, all you hitchers and drifters, to the United States of Paranormal podcast, your weekly road trip through the United States of all things cryptid, creepy, and paranormal. This is Logan.
This is Matt.
Boze.
It's Team Tejas back at it for our first episode of the new year. And we're not like all those basic bitches out there. It's a new year. It's not a new us. Same old, baby.
Our resolution is to never fucking change.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or if it's broke enough, fucking leave it the way it is.
We'll continue to disappoint with our white male conversations.
Yeah, we've stuck on that review for like the past 4 episodes.
Man, yeah, you guys are quite butthurt about this.
That's okay. I'm working on the rebranding right now. White guys not talking about the paranormal.
We get to it sometimes, most of the time. How's everybody's week been?
Busy. Working on projects. Nothing,
There was like a brief
nothing to brag
glimpse
about.
look on your face of enthusiasm, and then like you were like, and then you like thought about your week, and then you dialed back the tone.
Man, I don't get to do nothing fun. You know what I did for New Year's? I quietly sat at my office alone and playing Valheim by myself.
It's fair.
And that's
I'm not going to talk about my New Year's for legal reasons.
Yeah.
I was eventually, Kane got on super inebriated.
Really? He got on that
Back from
night?
your place. Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah. I bet he did.
He gave me some of the download of things that happened. Gave me let me know what your current health status was.
Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't throw up or anything. Not once a night. But I did, at one point, my monkey brain kicked in. And it was like, there's something we need to talk about because monkey brain's weird. But my monkey brain kicked in and was like, you need to move before you can no longer move. And it was like, we must find safe place for Logan. And then monkey brain was like, lay in bathtub. That's safe place. I was like, monkey brain remembered all those times that school told you to get in the bathtub if shit got bad during a tornado. And it was like, that's where we need to go. Tonight, Kayla's mom is watching the girls all night, so we're just going to chill and do anything. Her new house. I wish I could take you there to see it because, like, it's in the old district of,
Downtown Orange.
Yeah, and it's just like it's one of those big old houses that's like on her street. Like, majority of people have painted those houses blue. It's a lot of blue houses down there, but it's so big on the inside. Like, I haven't seen ceilings that high since me and Caleb lived in the old plantation house in Indiana. But like. It's just like, she was like, and this is the master bedroom. And then you open this master bedroom and it's like bigger than our apartment. And I was like, good God. I was like, it blows my mind. Because back then when these places were built, like central heating and stuff wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Right? So the bigger you built rooms, the harder it would be to fucking be warm in those fucking rooms, you know?
Well,
especially since there's just one fireplace in the house and it's in the living room.
Well, and is insulation even a thing there?
I don't know. It has been worked on, so maybe. She was talking about like a certain part that probably didn't have insulation, but it was just really fucking big.
Yeah, because that's one of my biggest complaints with like those old wood houses. It's like even when it is insulated, it's like it still gets cold really.
Oh, absolutely. Well, like I've said countless times, me and Caleb's house we lived in, the apartment we lived in, was an old plantation house that was sectioned off into 4 apartments. And the one apartment we got on the downstairs was bigger than trailers I've lived in.
Yeah.
It was just fucking big. The kitchen was massive. The ceilings were tall. There was the sunroom that Caleb lived in, the living room, the bedroom. They're all huge. But Indiana has basements, and that house is an old plantation basement, so the basement was a dirt basement. It was literally dirt down there. They poured concrete, but there were still parts that were just dirt.
Yeah.
And it's so not insulated that where you're walking in the floors, our wooden floors, you can look through the cracks in the floor and see into the fucking basement, which is unnerving at night. When you're walking around at night and you can just see like glow of light down there, and you're like, God, it would be so fucked if I just was looking down there. I saw something staring back at me. So when you're walking to the refrigerator, you just look up and try not to look
that
down.
would be a fun prank to do to someone. Just hang something staring up through the floorboards.
Oh no, that happened to me. Somewhat of that happened to me the other night. I was laying in bed and our blinds were open, and our curtain in our bedroom had like a crack in it, so I could see outside off into the distance to the road. And I was just staring out there, and I saw something. And I know it was I don't know, it might have been a mailbox or something. I don't know what it was, but I was like, man, it'd be really weird if that was like a person, and then they moved, and then all of a sudden
The mailbox got up and walked away, and Matt was like, oh, God!
a black shadow moved across the bottom of the window, and it looked like it was something right outside the window. Realistically, it was my wife moving in bed, but it was so dark, all I saw was just darkness move across the window, and it made me jump.
Yeah, I can feel that.
It took me a moment to come to terms with what happened and figure out what the hell happened.
I ain't about it. Well, how about your week, Brandon?
Things just seem to want to fucking break.
God damn it.
Well, Christmas Eve, his car freaking breaks down.
Yeah, that's fun. Fucking freezing weather, and I'm laying on the cement underneath the car trying to change out the goddamn starter.
Yeah, I brought him tools, like a jack and stuff, so he could work. I just sat in my car with the heat going.
Yeah, I'm getting bombarded with the goddamn wind on the cold fucking cement.
Would you want him to stand in front of you to block the wind? I mean,
I'm not. He was nice enough to go out there and help, so I'm not going to bitch
Yeah.
about him sitting in the heat.
If there was something I could do to help, I would have, but there was nothing. So
Yeah.
why should I sit out there and suffer?
fucking speaking of jacks, I was fucking the other week when I came back from. I worked one day the other week, and I came back to work the truck, and then went back to vacation. But when I was in the truck, for the trucks to get down to our place, they have to use those airbags, the suspension stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm in the truck, and all I hear is what sounds like a fucking missile going off inside the truck. And then just... And initially, I'm thinking something happened, and the forklift is leaking propane. But then I noticed it's not coming from my tank or anything. And then I also noticed the truck just start tilting down. It's starting to lose air. And I was like, oh, fuck. And the fucking air suspension in the truck exploded
Jeez.
on one side. So that dude was stuck out there because apparently that's tied to the air braking system of the truck.
Oh, no.
So he couldn't leave to go to other stores until somebody came out there to fix his truck. It was an experience. Like I said, it sounded so fucking loud inside that fucking trailer when that went off.
Well, like I said, I went to McDonald's because we were having like a team meeting before we started the day because we were working Christmas Eve and our boss was going to get us breakfast. I'm just parked out there. We're on our tablets for our morning call. And the next thing I know, my engine shuts off. Did it pop back on and smoke started blowing through my AC.
Oh, God. It's like that fucking scene in Christine where it fucking off the bitch inside.
Yeah. Back when I worked at Home Depot, I was flagging for a forklift operator who was unloading a truck in the lumber department, and he was being lazy, and he was unloading one side of the truck at a time.
Oh, no.
So he gets everything off one side of the truck. Suddenly, all of the tires on the right side of the truck pop.
Oh.
Did it?
It didn't flip.
Okay.
It didn't flip, but it puts, because the bed was
Imagine
no
that
longer
fucking-
weighted evenly, it put way too much weight and pressure on
Yeah.
the tires.
I imagine
on
that
the
truck
opposite
driver
side.
came out there, saw what he had done in the back of that truck, and was fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why would you unload one side, you fucking OCD motherfucker? Like, fucking spread it out. Jesus.
When I worked for a company that was a warehouse that was they're like a logistics company that handles all the shipping and receiving for the product produced by DuPont. We would load trucks and unload trucks with boxes of plastic beads, and we'd also get these huge pallets of 50-pound bags of plastic beads. I built some good relationships out there with a bunch of the guys, and I'd go to this one employee, actually 3 employees that lived together. I would go to their house on weekends, and we'd drink and watch UFC fights. One of these days I was at their house, a buddy of theirs came over, and he basically got fired right before I started working at the place. The reason he was fired was because he was playing on his phone on this forklift, and on these forklifts they required you to always drive in reverse. And he drove his truck right through a loading dock door. And fortunately, they're governed at like 12 miles an hour, so he didn't go like fully off the loading dock. The truck was just halfway hanging through the door and off the loading dock.
Jeez. That's fucking gnarly.
Did you guys see there was a streamer who he noticed there was somebody in his chat that he hadn't been in his chat for a while. And so he's like, hey, man, I haven't seen you in a while. What's up? And the person was like, oh, yeah, I've been dealing with stuff. My mom died. And the guy was like, hey, I'm going to give you some advice. When someone asks you how you been, just say good and shut the fuck up.
Oh, man. Jeez.
I forget the guy's name. I don't even know what game he played.
It's objectively funny, but...
It's objectively funny to most people except the person that finally came back to his favorite streamer after he dealt with a bunch of stuff and was like, my mom died. And the guy's like, shut the fuck up. And
he could just said, look, I'm looking for good.
Like, he went on to lecture the guy about etiquette.
Oh, yeah. No, fuck that guy. Then it wasn't being funny. He was just being a fucking dickhead.
He was genuinely mad for the guy bringing down the mood of the chat.
Fucking leave here and take your dead mom with you.
God damn. Yeah, no, okay, if he just ended it, like, if that was all he said, that would have been funny. And then he could have been like, well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, just tie it.
That would have been one thing. But the harp on the guy?
Yeah, no, tie it off with the bow. Be like, I'm just joking, man. I'm sorry to hear about your loss. Glad you're back, et cetera, et cetera. Except this guy was like, no, I'm being serious. Fucking just say you're being good. You're harshing my vibes here, dog. I'm trying to get these mad snipes in Call of Duty, and I'm fucking thinking about sad stuff. Like, what if my mom dies? People suck.
Yeah.
On that note, let's talk about something that's not people.
Or,
oh, god damn it.
Let's further delay so that Logan has to wait even longer to get to the story he's been wanting to get to.
I've been waiting for so long.
Look, you chose to do other stories before
It's not true. It's not true. Just
the stories chose him.
The stuff was already done and recorded.
Yeah, he hasn't actually
presented a news story in a very, very long time.
Yeah, since mid-October, early October.
Was it the doll? Was it Robert?
Yeah, Robert would have been my newest one.
Yeah, because in November we did the
Snedeker, which had been recorded for a while.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
It has.
It's been a while. Almost forgot how to research.
3 months? 2 months? It's been
oh, God, I gotta start researching soon.
Yeah.
Well, this would be all three of us having researched here recently, so the next one will probably be a chiller filler, so that gives you time.
Well, we could do a chiller filler.
Yeah.
As we make decisions for the show on the show while people listen to us. They're like, oh, they might be doing a chiller filler next time.
If you would like to provide your input on whether or not we should do a chiller filler, feel free to email us at the United States of Paranormal at gmail.com.
Or if you have episode ideas so you can make our research much easier.
Or if you're tired of hearing... if you're tired of hearing Brandon mope about broken stuff in his house, please donate a small fraction of 2 payments of $10.99.99. Hell, that's a lot of nines there.
I was about to say, you mean I could buy a lunch?
Yeah.
Or if you'd
like Brandon.
Or if you'd like Brandon's address, so you can go to House and break other stuff of his.
Yeah.
Feel free to email us at the United States. Fucking damn it. The United States of Paranormal at gmail.com.
But yeah.
We have a long email.
We have a long show name. That's why we fucking people break it down to tusop. That's why on that shirt that I got in the car for you to give to the lady that won the raffle, it says tusop on it instead of the United States of Paranormal.
We can't even use tusop, though, in a lot of stuff, because there's like an organization that is way more important than what we do that goes by tusop.
Is there really?
Yeah. I think it's like some kind of nursing organization.
I gotta look this up now. Can they sue us?
That's why we couldn't do tusop.com.
Tusop.com. Our acronym stands for a different thing than their acronym. We'll be fine. Also, all of our things that are like, quote unquote, trademarked, there's our full fucking name.
All right, so the first thing that comes up when you Google tusop is geometric lullabies.
Well, that's weird.
Which, if you're here for geometric lullabies, We actually don't do that.
What is a geometric lullaby?
And this is why we don't do that. We don't even know what it is.
All right, there's tusop.com.
It's when you lullaby your kid to sleep
So
with just the sounds of
tusop.com was
earthquakes.
already a thing, and I don't know
Yeah.
if this is an organization because this looks just like a foreign website. And it's like the logo is a guy in like a chef's hat.
Well, that's cool. We like chefs.
Yeah.
We like food.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's a news site.
Don't like news that much.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. I remember we had trouble when Jeremy had trouble finding it when he was trying to get the URL.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you were asking about geometric lullabies.
I mean, you guys really are just fucking prolonging shit. You're fucking sitting here Googling geometric lullabies. He's playing one. It sounds like a fucked up train horn in the
I
distance.
would not want to go to sleep to that.
Well, it's a lullaby, so technically wouldn't that be for children?
It's like a grungier version of the type of music I actually do play for my kid to sleep to.
When Daniel was little, we played him, I played him the Rockabye Baby, which was all like the old like 80s rock and everything, but
Yeah.
breaking down to like...
Yeah, I remember you used to play that stuff in
Yeah.
the car. I tried to find similar stuff, but I couldn't locate it. So now we
shit's
either
just
play
weird.
kalimba covers of pop music, or I usually end up playing an album called Goodbye to Language by the artist Daniel Lenoir.
The rockabye stuff was cool, but it still feels a little weird when you're trying to get your kid to sleep and it's like a lullaby version of Fat Bottom Girls by Queen playing, and you're like,
See, I still say you need to play some atonal music for him to sleep to, like some Schoenberg or...
My wife, she has
Late
her own
Stravinsky.
kalimba covers playlist because she uses Spotify. I use Apple Music, so we have different. Like, I don't have all the smaller creator-produced music that she does. And I was sitting there listening to it, and I was sitting there, I was like, "Why does this sound so familiar? What is this?" I was like, "That's fucking the theme song to Demon Hunter."
oh, God damn it.
There's a bunch of like, it's a bunch of stuff, but there's a bunch of anime music that's mixed into it.
I wouldn't be okay with hearing like the lullaby version of like the Attack on Titan theme song or something. Like, what are you drinking there, Maddie?
I am drinking Ghost Energy.
You're drinking an energy drink that's called Ghost on a Paranormal Podcast?
I am.
It's a shame they don't sponsor us.
Swedish fish flavored.
No, it's actually, I don't like Swedish fish. Okay, listen. I don't like Swedish fish because, one, those fuckers get stuck in your teeth.
And they're
And that is the same
goddamn
reason why I don't
disgusting.
eat puffy, the cheese poofs.
Yeah.
Is because I don't like shit stuck in my teeth. I don't like
I feel
taffy.
you.
Swedish fish are hard and get stuck in your teeth, but that energy drink does taste good.
It is. It's a nice. So the problem with a lot of zero sugar energy drinks is they're all sour, but not in a fun sour way.
Yeah.
This has a nice mild sweetness to it.
I like the Ghost logo on there because he looks like somebody fucked around and he is about to let them find out. He looks perturbed.
Yeah, that Ghost is hardcore. Dude, I'd love a Ghost sponsorship. Hey, if you're from Ghost, email us at the United States of Paranormal at gmail.com.
If you're from Swedish Fish,
Don't
We're good.
sponsor us.
the Swedish Fish guy was writing a check and just now crying, ripping it up. Nobody ever wants the Swedish fish. Was that Swedish? That sound Swedish? No. Or do you have to go? Bork,
It
bork,
sounds
bork,
a
bork, bork. Listen, it's not racist. It's Muppets.
Okay, so this studio we're in actually used to be called Studio Swedish Chef.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
the hard-
Somebody stole the fucking Muppet.
Yeah,
that was
if
in
we
here.
turned the computer on, it would the hard drive is still labeled Swedish Chef and has a picture of Swedish Chef on it. And yeah, there used to be a stuffed Swedish Chef in here, but college students are assholes.
Yep. My hard drives for all my Xboxes since the 360, where you had to buy the extra hard drive and everything for it, have all been labeled Fuckmaster 2.0. Which is really awkward when people can like see stuff, like it'll show it on a computer or something. They're like,
Yeah.
Fuckmaster 2.0. Like, that's my Xbox.
Well, everything Dakota has says Wayne Gobbler, so
That's funny.
That's just his truth.
So it's funny. There was actually a Comcast technician who got in trouble one time because when you set up like all your cable boxes and stuff for Comcast, you have to name like the room and everything it's in. And so he named a bedroom TV the Fuck Palace.
When I helped Logan set up his internet at his apartment,
Yeah,
I named his Wi-Fi network Logan's Baby Beatery.
You named it Naggle's Baby Beatery.
Yeah.
But it still nonetheless said Baby Beatery.
Good times.
So now my stuff is Matt Sucks.
But I will, however, absolutely sell out the Swedish Fish. Here's my Swedish Fish pitch.
You know what? You can eat all the Swedish fish you want. I'm not touching that garbage.
Do you like candle wax? Do you like eating candle wax?
Fucking don't sully the good name of candle wax, man. Fucking, you remember those little fucking, they look like Coke bottles, but they were wax and they had juice in them?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Yeah, okay, you had to tear them or bite into them to get to the fluid, okay? Never once have I bitten in one of those to get the fluid, and I had it stuck in my teeth for a day and a half, all right? Fuck Swedish Fish.
I will say, everything you've said about Swedish Fish is absolutely true. I actually do like Swedish Fish.
he just likes to be bothered for a day.
I like
No, it's like if you get a bag of Swedish fish, you have one. It's like, oh god, this is disgusting. But you reach in, you grab another one anyways because there's something mildly addicting about those fuckers.
I like foods. I like sweets that aren't very sweet.
Or good.
And I mean,
He's like, you know what? This has a burnt ash flavor. That's what I want.
I don't know. No, I would never say that they have a horrible flavor. They're fucking hard and get stuck in your teeth. Burnt ass flavor. I think you just got a really bad batch of Swedish Fish or something.
yeah. Did you try to cook your Swedish fish on a meth spoon?
Why a meth spoon?
Well, I feel like that's
Do
gonna.
you even cook meth on a spoon? I thought that was heroin.
Oh, heroin. I'm sorry. I'm not experienced.
I'm not either.
Why don't you break down the tech specs? Of
I don't know. You might
prepare
cook meth
drugs?
on a spoon. I don't know. I don't know why I looked at Kayla when I was trying to find out. Like, do you know if you cook meth on a spoon?
I think you just smoke meth. It goes
Yeah,
in a
isn't
pipe.
meth rocks?
Yeah, it's rocks.
Hey, if you know how to make and do meth, please email us at the United States of Paranormal
Look, we're
at
in
gmail.com.
Southeast Texas. We could just go across the street and ask.
Actually, if you do know how to make and do meth, you can forward it to us by mailing at thecallguys@gmail.com and have them forward it to us.
yeah, we could use
They
it.
love getting emails, so
They also love getting meth.
this is a disclaimer. We do not know if the call guys do or do not participate in hard narcotics. So yeah, meth. All right, let's go. Can we talk about mooses now?
Look, you derailed us that time.
Have you seen videos of moose freaking swimming or running across water?
Well, yeah. Well, we're going to get into moose, so this is on topic. One of the funniest fucking little webcomics I've ever seen in my life was based on, it shows a guy diving, and he sees a killer whale, and the diver looks terrified, and it's swimming towards him. Wait, no. He sees the moose swimming towards him underwater, and he looks terrified and confused, right? And then all of a sudden, a killer whale eats the fucking moose in front of him. And it shows the guy in the next panel throwing his diving gear into the fucking trash can. And then it shows a actual piece of paperwork that shows moose's natural predators. And it is killer whales and fucking bears. And that's because moose swim so low underwater that fucking killer whales just fucking eat them.
That's crazy. That's
Well, yeah,
fucking
especially
nuts.
when you think about how big a moose fucking is. Like,
And moose fucking, I hear moose
I mean, I
fucking
imagine
is
it's at
pretty big.
least the size of two
mooses.
mooses.
they can, so mooses can
It's
be
just-
up to like 10 feet tall.
Oh, I know.
Maybe your pussy ass mooses. This moose is a lot bigger than those mooses.
Like, a moose would be like up to that line up there.
I'd
Like,
imagine a bear's natural predator would be a fucking moose.
I mean,
bet you
I'm
a
sure
moose could
there's
take a
I'm sure
bear.
there's plenty of bears out there that are dead and or crippled from fucking with
Yeah.
the moose.
I saw.
Moose are scary.
I
That's
saw a
why Alaska
video-
is for the fucking birds.
Yeah, I saw a video of this guy. He was filming his front driveway because two moose were fighting in his driveway, and his car got fucked up.
It's like we watched the new Jurassic Park today, and there's a scene where a fucking Triceratops just bodies a fucking SUV because it pissed it off. And I was like, in that Triceratops' mind, that was just another dinosaur with headlights, and it was fucking mad for it being in its territory. But it fucked that.
That's
Jeep
like,
up.
there's a video right now of a boat going around in Africa and a hippopotamus start chasing it. And
Don't
for
fuck
s-
with hippos.
Oh yeah, and for some reason the white people in the boat are blasting "It's going to be the best day of my life," As they're getting chased from a fucking hippo.
Yeah, hippos are scary. They don't even really swim. They just rebound off the bottom of the water. They're just like, whoom, whoom.
Yeah.
Their swimming speed is like 35 miles
Yeah,
an
don't
hour.
fuck with those
like,
things.
they
will
are
fucking
the
eat
most
you.
dangerous animal on the planet.
Yeah, they are
they're
absolutely
scary.
terrifying. I've seen footage of hippos fucking up alligators
And lions.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Like, they are one of the most aggressive animals.
Yeah, they are absolutely horrifying.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, if you survive an attack somehow, it just, their teeth look so nasty. Like, I feel like you are just going to die of sepsis just a few days later. They're like, yeah, you survived it, but you're going to die because them fuckers' mouths are nasty. God. That being said, I would like to talk about my violent or not so violent creature. He is a little violent. He's not hippo violent, but who really is outside of hippos? Just like every legend or mystery, our cryptid critter has an origin. And in order for me to divulge that awesome moosey goodness to you, I have to take you back to 1891 to Maine, which I've never been to Maine, but that's where Daniel is now, isn't it? Didn't he say Maine? I could have swore he said Maine. But gotta take you to Maine near the shores of Lobster Lake, where Clarence Duffy, a lifelong resident of Old Town and an experienced hunting guide, first encountered the ghostly moose.
So, quick question. Is that where, like, Maine lobster's from? Lobster Lake? Like, I would hope it has for...
I imagine it's probably got a bunch of lobsters in it to be named Lobster Lake, and it's in Maine, which is known for, seafood and lobster rolls and...
Like, is it like Champagne, where for it to be a Maine lobster, it has to come from Lobster Lake?
Funny you would say that, because isn't there one of the big lakes, Lake Champlain, out up north too? There is a lake called Champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I fucking love lobster rolls.
Fucking lobster rolls are good, man.
I'm hungry now.
We're gonna fucking segue again. It's not happening.
We need to go hit up mainly sandwiches sometime.
Yeah, that was good shit. Though Duffy claims he could not fathom getting close enough to the ghoulish apparition that is now known as spectre moose, he could and did describe the creature to fellow hunters only to be laughed at and scoffed at, as he detailed the pale moose that seemingly glowed and stood far taller than any other moose he had ever seen. And this dude he was a hunting guide. Like, that was his job. So you figure the hunting guide doesn't want to discredit himself by going around and be like, ghost moose. So I feel like he really saw something.
I don't know. My thought would be that anybody who spends a lot of time in the woods.
They start seeing glowing mooses.
Yeah. Like, I think...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go to our medical professionals real quick to tell us about glowing moose syndrome.
Hey, if you're a hunting guide and you've seen a glowing moose, email us at the United States
Please
of Paranormal
do.
@gmail.com.
However, just a few months after Duffy had been chastised and ridiculed for his claim to have seen what he had seen, a lumberman named John Ross, who was also at Lobster Lake, reporting while he was clearing trees to have seen a giant white moose with an unnatural glow slowly walking through the woods only to disappear moments later to not be seen again. With the second reporting of the ghostly moose, more of the residents of the area stopped scoffing and started believing the encounters the two men claimed to have seen. So, one guy says it, let's make fun of him. Two guys says it, there's probably a ghost moose. At least that's kind of what.
How do you make a ghost moose?
How do you make a ghost?
Trauma?
Maybe the moose had trauma.
The moose died with PTSD.
I mean, a lot of animals die violently. I couldn't imagine having, like, a cat ghost in your house. That would be fucking horrendous.
Okay. You're right, though. A lot of animals die violently, so...
Why isn't there more animal ghostes?
Exactly. So does it need to be extra violent?
Well, I don't know, but there is shows on Discovery and stuff that are specifically about animal hauntings. So that's a thing. Like ghost horses, dog horses. The black dog has always been like a well-known ghost type thing. So, I mean, they're out there. I just feel like, I guess it might be like the whole thing that Jeremy brought up, to where like people are like, why are all the time, every time people see ghost, they're in Victorian clothes or this or that. And like, well, because if somebody sees somebody walking down the street dressed like you are, maybe they don't know it's a ghost. Maybe current ghosts are harder to pick out because you're just like, oh, that's just a guy walking down the street in his Nikes and his fucking wife beater. But meanwhile, it's a ghost of a fucking tweaker. So maybe people don't see a lot of animal ghosts because they just see a fucking cat on the street and they're like, fuck that cat. And that cat's just like, ooh, gone.
Hey, let's face it, all cats are probably just going to look at you and
Be gone.
Be
Yeah,
gone.
that's fair. That same year, a New York hunter claimed to have seen the moose near the, now this is, I'm not going to pronounce this right because this name of this lake is weird, the Sourdinahalt Lake. That is Sourdnahult Lake. Sourdinahalt Lake. That's what I'm going with.
Gazoon tight.
And reportedly fired several slugs into the beast with no effect, not even a flinch from the ghostly moose. But he did, however, make it incredibly mad, so the moose charged, so the man ran and hid inside a bear cave and stayed in the cave for about an hour and a half till the moose left.
Imagine being so scared of a moose that you chose to
hide in a
take
bear
your
cave?
chances with bears.
For an hour and a half, just hoping the bear's not home or doesn't come home. Even after this third encounter, many people still brushed off the stories. That's until a New York sportsman by the name of Howard Van Ness saw the specter moose and shot him several times in 1892. Fucking dyslexic, have an ass. This event happened about 30 miles northeast of Norcross. Van Ness and 3 other New York men were out hunting when Van Ness got separated from the group. When he happened to find and shoot the specter moose that he claimed weighed a ton and was tall as a camel with magnificent head and antlers. When his shot connected with the moose's shoulder, he claimed the creature let out a grunt before coming after Van Ness, who hid in a tangled mass of fallen trees and branches. So he got separated from his hunting party, saw a giant... I don't even know how he would say he knew that it weighed a ton, though. Maybe just because, like, its presence, like it walking around. The moose then circled the area at an incredible speed and then jumped clear over the pile of trees the man was hiding in before disappearing from sight. So he got separated from his homies and then said he saw a ghost moose that he shot, and then it harassed him for a while too. Which seems like to be moosey nature regardless. Apparently they're they're the tanks of the animal world because they take shots. Like if you're going to shoot a moose, it's very important that you make sure it connects and puts it down. Otherwise the moose is probably coming to kick your ass.
Oh yeah. No, you don't leave a moose alive if you're going to shoot at it.
After the story being told by a much respected hunter like Van Ness, many hunters flocked the area to hunt the ghostly moose, but the elusive cryptid was not seen again until 1895 by a taxidermist named Granville Gray. Then a few years later, in 1899, good lord, accidentally, that's a fucking typo, that would have been a big fucking time jump, by Gilman Brown of West Newbury, Massachusetts. He said he got close enough to the moose on Roach River. There's a lot of weird names for rivers out in Maine, by the way. He said he got close enough to it out there on Roach River to count up to 22 points on just one side of the moose's antlers. This is unusual because mooses are known to have... Is it mooses or meese?
I think it's moose.
Moose?
I don't even think it's mooses. I think it's just moose.
They're commonly known to have up to 8 to 12 points on one side, so it was basically almost double what normal. Brown also fired up to 5 shots at the creature, and all it did was glare at him and then slowly walk away. I didn't even charge him. He didn't care.
The moose just called me a bitch.
So the dude's a taxidermist out there. I guess he's out there just making his own business. He's just out there trying to snuff animals to be like, buy this one.
I mean, you got to advertise yourself somehow.
I guess.
If people aren't bringing it in, you got to bring in your own business.
But the specter moose is named so because of its whitish gray hue and its pale glowing aura that's said to stand over about 15 feet tall and weigh around 2,500 pounds with horns that stretch 10 to 12 feet across. So it's a big fucking moose. Compared to a normal moose in Maine that are 8 to 900 pounds and about 6 feet tall with a 6-foot span on their horns. Horns or antlers, I guess antlers. The story really picked up when the New York Times itself actually ran a story in 1899 about the moose and the incident with Van Ness. Like, so the New York Times actually wrote a story about a cryptid back in 1899.
That's
and published it. Which that'd be a cool fucking piece of paperwork to have if you could manage to get, I mean, that's old as shit now, but if you could manage to have that article of the specter moose, that'd be pretty sick.
I mean, if you knew which issue it was, you might be able to track. They might have a decent enough archive to find something.
Yeah, probably. Being that it's the New York Times, they probably do. One spotting near the Chairback Mountain by a Boston hunter in 1901 And then the next time the moose would be seen is in 1906 by George Nealand of Sherman, Maine, who came close to the moose on a bicycle on the road between Sherman and Macwahock. The man at first glance thought that the moose was a horse, but when he stopped to get a closer look, he was surprised to see the massive large white moose. Shortly after, the beast charged him, forcing him to climb a tree. Then the moose studied the man's bicycle and vanished. So if anything, it seemed like the moose wasn't even really angry with the man. He was just like, what the fuck is that? And he just wanted to get a closer look at the dude's bicycle. But apparently he reportedly stayed up in the tree for about 45 minutes after the moose disappeared.
Yeah, I fucking would too.
Yeah, no. The fucking homeboy was like, oh, look at that nice horse. And then was like, wait, that's a fucking moose. Wait, that's a ghost moose. And then it went to fucking beat his ass.
It just sat there and started talking shit on my bike.
You're the saddest looking fucking moose I've ever seen. The moose would make one more appearance in 1917, but after this, it would not be seen for a while until a rash of sightings flared up in 1932, and then again with another rash of sightings in 1938. Once being spotted in a group of other moose, the beast was claimed to have been so large, the other male moose in the group looked like pygmies. Yet again, the spectre moose just disappeared. It's weird that the other moose wouldn't be spooked by a moose that's twice their size and glowing. But, you know, animals.
Yeah, but to say, like, are they intelligent enough to be intimidated by something like that?
I'm not going to assume all mooses are dumb. I don't want to upset the moose fucking people. The oddest tale of the creature is one of a group of hunters near the Molunkus stream in east central Maine that claimed to have killed the large white moose. After they killed it, they slit its throat and struggled for hours to hang the massive creature from a tree to bleed it overnight so they could skin and dress it when the sun rised. But when the group got up in the morning, the moose was gone. And the following night, after the dead moose had vanished, the men claimed the dead moose just walked into their camp, neck still slit, glowing. The hunter shot it again, but this time the moose was unfazed and slowly walked away, later to be seen again near Ashland, about 90 miles away, with a slit neck, and was shot once again to no effect. So that's multiple people claiming that they not only found the moose, but killed it, only for it to just get out of a tree and show back up, being like, good luck, bitches, and just fucked off again. Only to be shot a day later by someone else and still just be unfazed.
Psych, bitch!
Some people claim that maybe it's just an albino moose, only to be scoffed at by locals who hear this all the time, and now they say, listen, albino mooses are usually smaller and have pinkish eyes, while the spectre moose is claimed to have brown eyes and is massive. The others even go so far to bring up the fact that mooses that are infested with winter ticks, fur can grow lighter and lighter, even cause the creature to rub off most of their fur. Yet again, locals will tell you that those mooses are usually skinny and emaciated and absolutely don't glow. So, it's a short, sweet story, but I was really delighted to just see how many encounters of, like, with people that were like, this is their name, this is the year, this is when this happened. And then when I found out that the fucking New York Times wrote about it and everything, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah.
Apparently, I was just looking it up. The New York Times did another article in 1938, and you can actually see the spectered moose, like they have it digitized online.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get that from you later, and we'll put that in the socials and everything.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not a massive story, but it's a really cool story. I like stuff of, like, giant creatures or something like this that just, like, has been seen so many times to where the residents of that area are just like, it's a thing. They're not like, maybe it's out there. They're like, it's out there. And then people are like, oh, it could be this. And like, no, fuck you. Albino mooses have pink eyes and are small. Our moose has brown eyes and is massive and could kick your albino moose's ass.
Yeah, they have fucking, they have experts.
Yeah, they got skin in the game at that point. It's just like people with fucking Mothman and everything, where people come to their town like, it could be this. And like, no, Mothman's Mothman. If you don't like it, fuck off. But yeah, that was the story of the Spectre Moose of Maine.
That's dope.
I'd really like to get a fucking art done with the Spectre Moose some point and just to have a shirt for myself, because he is quickly becoming one of my favorite cryptids. I just think it's neat that there's just a giant fucking glowing white moose out in the wilderness just constantly harassing people. And it's just like, it's so spread out because it started like early 1800s and then just kept going. And it wasn't like constant. It was like he would disappear He'd come back. He'd disappear. He'd come back. It always seemed to be hunters that he fucked with or taxidermists and everything. But that makes sense because that's who's out in the wilderness poking around.
Yeah, those are the people who are going to see it.
Thoughts, concerns, notes?
I'd like to go to Maine sometime. I think that'd be really fun.
Do you want to go to Maine for the spectre moose, or you want to go to Maine to have some lobster rolls?
I don't ever want to go somewhere just for the food, but the food is definitely a bonus to going there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go. I like hiking and stuff in like mountainy areas and forests, and so it'd be fun to go out there and
Get harassed by a giant glowing white moose.
yeah, I'm about it.
I have no
Why
urge
not?
to be chased into a bear cave by a fucking ghost moose, though.
I'm just saying, you've never.
Can you climb a tree quick enough to get away from a fucking pissed off
you
moose?
think his ass could get up a tree?
I
So
can
bear
get up
cave
a
it is for
tree.
Matt.
If I can take down a tree, I can get up a tree.
Sure.
I don't like the looks you just gave me.
I'm just saying, it's Maine. If it's anything like Indiana, most of the trees are like fir trees, like pine trees and stuff. There's not a lot of low-hanging branches to get, like, you're shimmying, you're hugging.
No, it's not a lot of fir trees necessarily. There's a lot of, I don't know what you call them, trees that actually lose their leaves in the winter. We actually have family up in Maine that Blair has gone to visit. I have not had an opportunity.
Yeah, I remember when she went up that way because she got me my hockey puck from the Bruins.
Yeah, and
everything.
all the photos, it was all red and orange leaves and stuff.
Yeah,
and
apparently they
trees
got
that
a
are
lot
much
of
lower.
oaks and pines.
Yeah. I mean, pines can get pretty big. We got pine trees down here.
I believe in you. Scared enough, I think you could probably climb a tree.
I'll climb a tree right now.
Let's go outside
and pick a tree.
tree to climb. But yep,
I can climb a tree.
that was me Spectre Moose. Like I said, it's not a long story. It's not as long as the, Snedecker's two-parter and everything, but it's cool. I always like looking up stuff like this. I honestly thought it was going to be less content than it was from, like, the brief bits I've heard of the Spectre Moose. I've never heard, like, multiple encounters and everything. I know the other, like, I've listened to almost a year ago now, is when I talked to you guys about trying to look for content on the Spectre Moose. Like, I wanted to listen to content.
Yeah.
Every pod, like all of 3 podcasts I've heard that covered the Spectre Moose, like, had like an encounter, and it was like 15 minutes of Spectre Moose, and the rest was nothing. There's quite a bit of stuff in there.
Yeah, but we give you 20 minutes of Spectre Moose.
Hey man, it's better than nothing. I just really want to talk about the Spectre Moose. I have this. They've heard me bitch about it over and over again.
Oh, yeah. It's been an ongoing thing, and now we're fucking done with it.
We're never
Now you
done
did
with
it.
Spectre Moose.
And now we'll never have to hear about it again.
Oh, you'll hear about them again and again, and eventually I'll have a shirt. It's gonna happen. I'll get myself some Spectre Moose art for my birthday. Fucking give me a shirt made.
You know what, Logan? I believe you.
Speaking of content, any listeners out there have any ideas for what we could possibly put on a Patreon when we get around to putting it up? Hit us up at the United States of Paranormal at gmail.com or any of our socials. We'd love to hear from you guys. We've heard from about 2 people have mentioned Patreon and offered suggestions. But if you have an idea of what we could do for it, hit us up. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you regardless. So,
Yeah, talk to us anyway.
if you have a case you want us to hear, if you want to hear Boze, Matt, or myself, or any of the other members over at Team Boozers cover something, let us know.
If you
Tell us
just
about
want,
a cryptid. Tell us about a haunting.
So if you just want some ASMR files of us,
If you want Brandon to tell you the extensive history of the Twinkie, ask us. We'll have him do it.
He's intimately familiar. He's actually...
That makes it sound like he fucked a Twinkie.
You're taking it there. I was about to say he's actually the foremost expert in Twinkie
He is
history.
intimately familiar with Twinkies. Brandon, just say subtly onto the mic that you're intimately close with Twinkies.
subtly,
Just just lean in the mic, Brandon. Give it your most sexy. I am intimately close with Twinkies.
so subtly, I am most
Why do you go
interested in
ASMR
the
with it?
history of Twinkies.
I was thinking more of like a Barry White. Like,
I'm wearing headphones.
yeah, baby. If anybody knows a Twinkie, it's Brandon. He knows a Twinkie so hard he can't walk right the next day. Cream filling, baby.
Twinkies are gross.
Fuck. Said it. You eat Swedish fish. You have no credibility in the snack world. Twinkies are also now ripping up the check for sponsoring us after they heard that Brandon might fuck a Twinkie.
You think Hostess gives a fuck about us?
I wish Hostess gave a fuck about us. I fucking have many of good memory of buying the orange cupcakes of Hostess as a kid.
Hey, if you work for Hostess, email us at the United States of Gmail. Or you email us at the United States of Paranormal at gmail.com and come fight me.
No. Why would you? Why? Why you want to fight Hostess? There has to be a Hostess
I'm
snack
gang
that
Little
you
Debbie.
like. Really?
Yeah.
That's
I
rough.
said it. Oatmeal cream pies, fucking delicious.
What is that meme of instead of Little Debbie, it's Big Deborah?
No, I honestly, I cannot think of
I can't name a Little Debbie snack.
He just named one. Oatmeal
cream
cookies.
pies, honey buns, Nutty Buddies.
Star cookies.
Oh, is Nutty
Zebra
Nutty Buddies
cakes?
isn't
Nutty Buddies is Little
Nutty,
Debbie.
Nutty Butters?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
I thought they were
Nutter Butters? Nutter Butters? Star Crunch? Is that Little
Yep.
Debbie's?
Star Crunch is a little.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, they're all got their own fucking like big things though. Like Hostess has the cupcakes with the little swirls. Hostess has fruit pies and everything. Hostess has Twinkie. Hostess
Okay,
has snowballs.
I'll give the fruit pies.
I will absolutely fuck up
Hostess.
a fruit pie. Not to be confused with Brandon absolutely fucking a Twinkie. It's very different. I would not do anything sexual to a fruit pie.
Okay, I will absolutely give Hostess the fruit pie. The fruit pies are delicious. None of their confectionaries.
Yeah, like who cares
I
about
guess the fruit pie is a-
zingers?
Yeah.
Hey, Hostess has a line of fucking Hostess is it Hostess that makes the cosmic brownies?
No,
No,
that's
that's
Little
Little
Debbie.
Debbie's.
Little Debbie's has the ice cream now. Then that's Little Debbie
Yeah.
has all that.
I'll tell you, all of the.
Well, because you went to fucking LCM. The snack line was all Little Debbie shit.
I never went to the snack line at the school.
Oh, that's right. You're a poor kid.
Yeah, exactly. I was a poor kid.
I didn't get anything from there either, but I would always watch people fuck up like. But so there's all those assholes that would go to line and buy like fucking 8 Star Crunches.
Jeez.
And just eat
But
them.
listen. Answer me this. Outside of the pies, name one Little Debbie snack that's not just waxy.
You mean Hostess?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Little Debbie's not waxy. The cosmic brownie kind of is, but
I will not shit on a Twinkie. I like Twinkies. I also, like I said, I really like the cupcakes. I like the orange ones. I always have.
But then, like Little Debbie has Swiss rolls.
I'm not a sweets person, so you're really. The fruit pies. I like pies. I just like pies.
Yeah.
And that's great. I like fruit pies. I will occasionally eat a snowball when I'm in a specific mood because I don't really like coconut. But snowballs have such a weird fucking texture.
I can't stand.
I can't either, but there's certain times, like maybe like 3 times a year, something will be happening inside Logan where he's like, I'm going to eat a fucking snowball. And I don't know if it's a sad thing or mad thing or what, but it just happens. I eat a snowball. And they had a crossover with DC for years ago. And I had the box for the longest time until they turned
Oh yeah,
of the glow balls. And it was just green snowballs for Green Lantern.
some fudge rounds would be good right now.
I don't know what a fudge round is.
That's the
You know what a fudge round
It's
is.
the
We can show you a
oatmeal
picture.
cream pie, but it's like chocolate and with fudge inside it.
They sell double deckers of those now in individuals at Walmart of fudge rounds and oatmeal pies.
The only Little Debbie snack that's chocolate that I like is the. Are they Nutter Butters or are they Nutty Buddies?
It's Nutter
They're nutty,
Butters.
but no,
There's
they're buddies.
something-
They are. I'm looking at right now. Nutty Buddy.
I'm talking.
Here's the picture. This is what Matt's talking about.
Yeah. So what? What is the Nutter Butter?
Okay, Nutter Butter. I'm mistaken. I'm mistaking the two names. I'm Mingla affecting myself here.
Oh, okay. The Nutter. Okay,
Nutty Buddies are the bars.
Yeah.
And Nutter Butters are the peanut shaped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those
okay.
fucking chocolate covered Nutter Butters. Have you ever had one of those?
No, I haven't.
Fuck me. That is way better than it has any right to be.
Yeah, that is the only like chocolate snack thing that.
Yeah,
I
Nutty
like.
Buddy's dope. I like to peel the layers on Nutty Buddy.
Yeah, they're. I will.
We'll probably get more emails talking about this than we will talk about the spectacles because we're making people actively mad talking about snacks. Somebody's in their car and be like, "You gonna shit on a ding dong right now?"
That's also probably the sweetest thing that I like in those snack cakes, minus the pies. But I mean, fruit pie is going to be sweeter anyway. But aside from that, like I like the oatmeal cream pies. I occasionally like the honey buns.
There's better honey buns.
Well, I'm sure there are. I'll tell you what's not a better honey bun. Any of the Hostess honey buns.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. The Krispy Kreme honey buns are really good. if you can
Hostess
find
makes
them.
the little muffins. in the bag.
I don't like those.
Those
little
muffins
at
are
all.
good.
Yeah, no, I like those muffins. I like
Yeah.
the little blueberry ones. I'll fuck that shit up.
The blue, yeah. I normally don't like blueberry, but those blueberry, I'll fuck up a blueberry
See,
muffin.
this just proved my point. All of them have their own merits.
They also have their
Also,
I will
mini
Hostess's
donuts.
merchandising is way better than Lewis.
It absolutely is.
They
You
have
got
the-
stuff
they
like
have
the
the mini
Fruit Pie
donuts.
Magician. You got Twinkie the Kid. You got King Ding Dong. You don't fuck with
Well,
Hostess's
this
mascot.
Hostess picked a name that lets them branch out. Little Debbie, you're kind of pigeonholed.
Don't say people are pigeonholing Little Debbie. That sounds horrible. That sounds awful.
It's funny. I'm looking this up, and there's a picture of little diabetes.
No, don't. No, he can talk about it because he is skirting the line there. No, he is diabetic, straight up. You got.
Oh God,
See, I forget about a lot of Hostess ones because there's like, yeah, that's
that's rough.
yeah, that's the one I saw that said Big Deborah. But yeah, there is. I forget about a lot of the Hostess because you don't see a lot of them don't get shelf space at most places. Like you got like Suzy Q's and Ho Ho's. You don't like. Is those stuff that you don't see?
Who names a snack cake a ding dong?
Listen, I'll take a ding dong over a moon pie any day. I'm gonna talk about Chalky, a fucking moon pie. Man, we have segued hard at the end of the podcast.
Moon pies, if I remember correctly, they were made during the Depression.
That fitting.
Yeah,
They taste sad.
and then they got.
straight up.
I think it was during the Depression, and then they got picked up for World War II and Maine shipped out to troops.
Of course. They're like, this is fitting for people in the Dust
Some
Bowl.
people
Give them to our
fucking
troops.
love moon pies.
My dad loves moon pies.
I'm not. I don't like
Okay.
marshmallows.
So moon pie started in 1917 when,
This podcast has gotten weird.
a Kansas coal miner asked our traveling salesman for a snack as big as the moon.
And they're like, here, this is kind of the size of your wallet.
Yeah, he's
It was like a coaster. And the guy was like, that ain't even close to moon
Earl
size.
Mitchell reported back, and the bakery obliged with a tasty treat aptly named a moon pie.
Man, that's awfully bold of them to throw the word tasty around like that.
It was. I mean, it
was a different time.
It was post World War One, so
Fair.
Yeah, they were eating cardboard for
They
meals.
were.
like it was filling and it fit in a lunch pail, and the coal miners loved it.
Oh, yeah, they're fucking in the coal mine all day long. They'll fucking like anything that doesn't
Like-
taste like fucking coal and sadness.
Like their taste buds are already fucked from all the cigarettes and coal in the air.
yeah.
But yeah, that was our snack segue, apparently.
If you would like to have a podcast exclusively
about
on
snacks. Oh, dude, I could do a fucking podcast about snacks, man.
How do you do like a food podcast?
Oh, well, no. Oh, man.
That's easy.
It just depends on what kind of food podcast you're talking about here. But now, if you're going strictly snacks, man, what you got to do is you have to have an episode for each specific kind of snack.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And you got to be like, all right, today's episode's about Flaming Hot Cheetos and their adjacents. So you got to have all your variety of bullshit Flaming Hot Cheetos and Flaming Hot Cheetos. And you just sit down with your guest or your co-host.
Well, and see, and then with
and you
that,
sit there and you work your way through it.
and I don't know if y'all seen this HEB, but they got like Flaming Hot Cheetos macaroni and cheese now.
Oh, yeah, they do straight up.
Obviously,
Cheetos brand has.
obviously, it would be better in video format for a podcast.
I bought 3 boxes of that Flamin' Hot mac and cheese to make Flamin' Hot potato skins the other day. I just took the essence of the Flamin' Hot out of there, like
Yeah.
the bag, and I used it in my mixture to go in my potato skins.
Man, I was at HEB the other day. Shout out to HEB. And there was a woman in the breakfast section, the frozen breakfast section, looking at waffles. And she was looking at the HEB brand waffles. And her kid absolutely refused to let her buy anything that wasn't Eggo.
Listen,
And I was sitting there and I was like, you know what, honestly? Because we buy the HEB brand. For the most part, and this is the only store I'll give this kind of credit to, most of the HEB brand stuff I have tried is oftentimes better than the name brand.
I'll give you that. But also, I will give you marketing because as a kid, all I ever wanted was like, I wanted Eggos. Because, fucking 90s marketing alone fucked kids up. Like, they just like made everything look so appealing. Anything.
See, that's where people fucked up getting rid of Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah,
They
no,
lost all
because
that advertisement.
That was everything
money.
I wanted. Fucking Oreos cereal hit the shelf. That's all I wanted because I'd be seeing those commercials fucking
Or
constantly.
Cookie Crisp.
Oh yeah, just all that shit. Like it was just like, and then I'd get in my little head that I needed that shit. Like listen, you don't understand. That kid ate that fucking pack of Gushers, and his head became a fucking fruit.
He looked happy for a minute.
I want to find out. Now stop buying me this Aldi's brand bullshit and get me Gusher brand Gusher, because that Aldi shit ain't got goo in it.
Yeah, no, I guess it's easier for parents to get away with not having to buy stuff like that because lack of TV.
It's not like fucking now where you have H-E-B brands where the H-E-B brand Doritos have more flavor. When I was a kid, my parents would buy a bag of whatever brand Aldi's was selling, and like Aldi's knew their demographic there. They're like, you are working poor class, and they're like, you guys are liable to steal our grocery carts, but you're also liable enough to know that you guys want to keep a quarter if you have it. So you had to fucking put a quarter into the fucking grocery cart to unchain it. And they're like, we'll know you'll bring our cart back because you need that quarter, you little poor bitch.
I think Beaumont is getting an Aldi's.
I wonder if it's different now, but back then it was literally
I don't know.
It was like the rejects from everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, so
including like, it was like shit Big Lots couldn't sell and like the dented shit from Kmart. So my parents would buy these Doritos, and I remember them quote unquote fondly because I would fucking go while I was watching a pup named Scooby-Doo, I'd go get them out of the fucking pantry. They had a fucking see-through window where you could see into the bag, and you could see these poorly ass flavored fucking tortilla chips where like you'd see bald spots on the chip where there's no seasoning.
Jeez.
And by the time you're done with the bag, there would be like an inch of powder because it wouldn't adhere to the chip.
Yeah.
And they tasted like garbage. That's why I love my Aunt Joy so much, because when we got taken there, that's the one with the husband that taught me how to make the pepperoni salads and everything. She would give me Mountain Dew. She would give me name brand Doritos. Oh, man. If I was ever close to diabetes, it was probably visiting her as a child.
I love the H-E-B brand Dorito knockoff. I think that's really good.
Oh, yeah. Their flavor on those.
Their Cheeto knockoff is fucking gross.
H-E-B does great things, but they also do horrendous things like seasonal sodas and chips.
Oh, yeah.
Like 1 year when I lived with Tony, he bought, do you remember that he bought that candy cane soda? It tasted like carbonated toothpaste water. Like, I literally took that soda with me to places to make people try it. Like, I brought it to Doug and said, I was like, drink this. It tastes like carbonated toothpaste water.
See, if you brought me a drink and told me that it tastes like carbonated toothpaste water, I'm pouring it out.
I'll try everything once. Because I tried that I found that Jones soda that was Thanksgiving dinner. Ooh. And it left such an aftertaste of gravy in your mouth. It was
So if you would like to send us anything weird to try, email us at the United States of Gmail. Fuck.
That is the third time you have fucked that up.
The United States of Paranormal at gmail.com.
United States of gmail.com. But yeah, I like trying the weird stuff. Like, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We know Logan's into weird stuff.
I don't want to hear you fuck Twinkies. I know what shirt I'm getting Brandon for his birthday. But yeah, no, they'll do, H-E-B will do like stuffing chips and like just weird ass
I never see that
chips.
stuff. I gotta track that stuff down.
Well,
when they
you
do
like
it.
during Thanksgiving they'll have the stuffing chips.
Yeah.
And then during Christmas they'll be like candy cane soda, and it does not taste like
Man,
Did you tell me Pitch Black was coming back?
It's already back. It's just I'm trying to find it.
I have not seen it anywhere.
I've seen so many people post it on social media. There's just like I'm the new can for Pitch Black looks amazing.
Yeah, I saw that photo you had posted.
And they also have Pitch Black Zero now, so good for you.
Yay!
And they have the energy drink.
Yeah. They my local HEB, they right up front when you walked in the store, the very first thing you saw during the holidays was this big ass display for the stuff to make tamales.
Nice.
That's what my local store was pushing. It's like, that's cool. And I was thinking about doing tamales. Because I've always wanted to make tamales, but I ended up not doing it. I made pecan pie instead.
Ooh, that can look good dope.
Yeah, it's a pretty can.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I want to get me a bunch and then be fucking sad when they take it away. But honestly, they'll probably need to take it away before I hurt myself drinking so much Pitch Black.
I will drink.
I mean, just the fact that there's Pitch Black Zero now.
Well, I just got to see how Zero tastes.
Yeah, I will probably.
This literally has become snack podcast.
I will probably drink one bottle of Pitch Black and one bottle of Zero. I will probably hate the Zero, and then that'll be all the Pitch Black I drink, so I don't be a fat ass.
It's fair. But we're going to wrap up the snack podcast here.
Yeah, I think we talked more about snacks than we did the Spectre Moose.
Well, I mean, there's only so much Spectre Moose content, but snack content will never die. So if you want a snack podcast, please email us at the... Matt, you want to tell us the email again?
Yeah, the United States of Paranormal at gmail.com. I almost...
You stumbled. Like, I thought you were about to lose it there. I was giving you one win. I was giving you a W, and you almost fucked it up.
Yeah, I almost pulled that away from me. I'd love to do a snack podcast. Oh, man, that's probably a terrible idea.
He's sitting here talking about trying not to be a fat ass, and he's like, I'd love to do a snack podcast. Then the realization hit him of how much snacks he would eat, and he was like, I probably should.
Oh, face it, it would have to be video content so people could watch us eat it.
Yeah, we'd need a good place to do video content before we could do anything like that.
Snack podcast.
Yeah.
They have a cool show. I'm trying to fucking close this podcast up, but they got this new cool show that is, they get a bunch of like different kinds of cooks and chefs, and the whole show is they hit a vending machine to see what snack the guests have to try to recreate.
Uh-huh.
And then after they go to the next round, they have to try to put their own unique spin on it. So if they get Flaming Hot Cheetos, they have a couple hours to try to recreate a Flaming Hot Cheeto.
That's awesome.
It's fucking hard. Like watching like people that cook for a profession and shit struggling to be like, how do I get it to do this? 2 out of 3 of the guests on that episode for Flaming Hot Cheetos fucking exploded fryers.
Jeez.
Trying to do it. Like shit started flying everywhere.
What channel is that?
Netflix.
Netflix. Oh, it's on Netflix.
I'll have to check that out.
Blair used to watch. They don't exist anymore. I don't know what company it was, but it was they did a lot of food YouTube content, and it might have been Tasty. But they
Bon Appetit.
Bon Appetit.
There's
yeah,
still a thing.
it might not be Bon Appetit then, but there was one of the people who would do stuff for them. She would try to make gourmet versions of a lot of stuff.
She still comes
She
out with
does
new
still
videos.
does stuff, yes, but she no longer works for that company. She now works solo. Another person from that company works for Babish, or worked for Babish. I
Fuck,
don't know
love
if she still
Babish.
does.
Shout out to
afterwards.
fucking Binging with Babish.
Yeah.
Fucking love that show.
Oh my god! So on what you were talking about for a moment ago, I watched this. It was Iron Chef Dad gourmets McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Oh yeah, I've seen that guy on TikTok.
So let me just describe what he does. He doesn't try to remake the chicken nugget. He orders like 220 pieces, peels all the frying off of it. Okay. He blends the meat paste.
It was already blended before it became a chicken
In
nugget.
simpler terms, he deconstructs it and uses the parts of it to make a gourmet meal.
He then takes 2 potatoes and microwaves them.
Yeah, I've seen him do some weird shit with a cheeseburger.
Yeah, and then
That sounds horrible.
and then, like he peels out all like the potato to stuff it with the new meat paste.
Oh, meat paste.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, how about we plug some?
Yeah.
podcasts?
Okay. So if you enjoy our podcast or don't, maybe go find another podcast you like one of the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network, a podcast. On Mondays, you have The Call Guys, a pop culture top list podcast where you have Colton and Chico talk about movies and other things. They're extremely wrong about some things, like how Nightmare Before Christmas is not a Christmas movie in their standards, which they're absolutely fucking wrong about. But,
It's
don't fight me about it. Go to them and
about
fight them.
Jack Skellington being sick and tired of Halloween and wants to become Santa.
Listen, I know. I wrote them about it. I was angry. I yelled so much at my car radio, it probably has fucking PTSD now.
Logan sat down and wrote a letter.
Yeah, I did. No, because there is all of
a
literally
harshly misspelled letter.
in that movie, there is all of 3 minutes and there's all of 3 minutes and 16 seconds of Halloween. It is while they sing "This Is Halloween" and they're marching back into town. That is Halloween right there as it closes in at midnight. And when it hits midnight and they say this many days till Halloween, Halloween is over in that movie. Halloween is not revisited the rest of the movie. Yes, they live in a town called Halloween Town. Yes, they're all spooky looking. But it is not a Halloween movie for the rest of that movie. It's 3 minutes and 16 seconds. And it's done. The rest of the time is about first Jack having a midlife crisis, finding Christmas, studying Christmas, appropriating Christmas, doing Christmas and ruining it, then saving Christmas and learning a lesson. And then acceptance, and then be like, this many days till Halloween. The movie has Santa Claus, snow, Christmas Town, elves, the meaning of Christmas in it, It happens on Christmas at one point. And the only other holiday that you could actually put in that movie is it is 1% Easter, because the Easter Bunny does show up for that second where the guy's like, Bunny! That's it. That is almost all Christmas movie. The only movie that the Call guys said was a Christmas movie in their whole little repertoire of things they did not argue that Gremlins was a Christmas movie. Which if they did, at that point I would have got a ticket to go to Indiana and I would have buried 2 podcast coast. But if you can say that Gremlins is a Christmas movie, which it is, how can you not say Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie?
It's literally in the title.
They have Christmas merchandise for your yard for Nightmare Before Christmas. It is a Christmas movie. And always will be. Yes, it has spooky overtone. So does the Krampus and Gremlins. And they're still Christmas movies. I will fight you both. But hey, go check out the Call Guys podcast on Mondays. On Tuesdays, you have the Golden Image podcast, where it is an oscillating podcast. Oscillating? Yeah, fuck it, oscillating. Where one week it will be the Skywalker, Chico, and Golden Jay from Team Boozers reviewing local eateries and other cool places that they go to. They go out and have a good time to try to get you to get out and have a good time. And then on alternating weeks, it is vintage flashback episodes of Golden Image Golden Image radio show that Golden Jay used to do back in the day. On Wednesdays, you have us. You know us. We don't need to plug us. We ruin that for ourselves. On Thursdays,
we're plugged enough.
Yeah, we're plugged enough. On Thursdays, you have the Indiana Chiefs fans podcast, where it's a bunch of guys from Indiana that like the Chiefs, and they talk about it. And every now and then they have other people on who aren't as fond of the Chiefs, and they feud. And then on Fridays, you have the Murd Nerds, which is Alicia, Trashley, and Golden Jay, as they talk about true crime, unsolved and solved sometimes. Sometimes they even talk about animals that save people or animals that murdered people. Check them out on Fridays. And then eventually we'll have a Court of Books and Booze. I don't know what day that's going to be on, but that's going to be the Skywalker and his lady and somebody else. I don't know their name. And they are going to be doing book reviews and all that stuff. And I imagine there's going to be some alcohol in there. Get swifty, you know?
It could be me, but nobody's
Anybody got another
invited me.
podcast they want to throw out there that they're listening to or they like?
No, I don't. I'm at a stage of my life where I'm not listening to a lot of podcasts right now. I'm mostly just listening to audiobooks. However, I will plug Dungeon Crawler Carl. If you like lit RPG or would like to explore lit RPG, I highly recommend listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl.
All right,
Made by the fine folks at Sound Booth Theater.
What's your plug,
Plug
Brandon?
us.
You got something you want to plug? Audio of some format?
I'll go with Sound Booth Theater.
Okay. One of the other podcasts that I listen to when I like to mix it up is Girls on Porn, where I learn about ethical porn. You laugh, but I listen to them weekly. So check them out if you want to learn about ethical porn. It's like a 40-minute podcast. Probably a lot shorter than Dungeon Crawling Carl.
It's the short books.
But that's been the United States of Paranormal. Logan.
Matt?
Boze.
Keep it spooky.
Don't fuck Twinkies.
To support other Golden Mojo Entertainment productions, check out Golden Image Podcast, The Call Guys, and Murd Nerds wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. To see photos and find new episodes of the United States of Paranormal, follow us on our social media. Twitter at TUSOPPOD, or Instagram at the United States of Paranormal, and Facebook, the United States of Paranormal. If you have a place that you'd like us to look into, or would like to share your spooky story that we can read on the air, please email us at theunitedstatesofparanormal@gmail.com.